Promises were made to those workers that when they got old, they would have a pension. And years ago, Congress reneged, broke that promise. And I'm happy to tell you we have restored that promise to those workers. The senior senator from the state of Vermont, Mitch McConnell, is not just Kentucky's senator. Until a few months ago, as you all know, he was the majority leader of the United States Senate. And my God, I am so delighted that today he's only the minority leader. And by the way, we owe that to two great Senate candidates in Georgia. And what they did in Georgia, you could do in Kentucky.
At this time, thank you to the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, to all of you for this wonderful award, which I will display with great pride in the Speaker's office in the Capitol as a constant reminder and inspiration of the work that you do and the importance of parliaments in the work of security, economy, governance, the issues that brought us here today. I'm honored to receive it from you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. Mr. President, has a nice ring to it, because of your great leadership on foreign policy and security for so many years in the Congress, of course recognized by your colleagues here, but also in the House of Representatives. I want you to know how respected his voice is in the Congress. And again, we take great pride in his presidency of this organization. Thank you, Jerry Conway. So here we are in Lisbon, and here we are just honored not only by the beautiful hospitality and the cultural experience and all the rest of the Portuguese government and of the Parliament, Mr. Speaker, but also by the seriousness of purpose of the comments that you both made here today. Mr. Speaker, it was an honor to hear the array of concerns that you, challenges that you placed there, Mr. Prime Minister, the values, the framework in which you put it, and then to hear Jerry talk about a new way to look at all of this. Clearly, listening to the Prime Minister and the Speaker, it's clear that the Atlantic Ocean does not divide us, but is unifying to us. The transatlantic relationship is one that we value. Clearly you do. Lisbon, Portugal, has been, shall we say, the master of the seas from the age of discovery, and now, as you try with the COP26 and also your initiatives on the oceans to protect that tremendous ecological resource. I saw the Prime Minister in Spain, in Madrid, for COP25, where, again, your leadership was so evident, Portugal's leadership so evident. So it's an honor to be with you. To hear you talk about being one of the founding members of NATO is indeed a source of pride to Portugal, but it is also a source of great pride to NATO that Portugal was one of the founding members, even in a time not as democratic as it is now.
Everybody, we have some great news about the fourth stimulus check that I want you to know. This news, everybody, was just released today, and it's very important surrounding the fourth stimulus check, also, as well as our direct payments from Congress. So you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video to find out the latest news surrounding stimulus checks. Now, personally, folks, I want to see President Biden do what it takes and send out the fourth stimulus check to help out the American people all across the country. Because even though the country is reopening and many people are finding jobs, a fourth stimulus check will definitely help people out. So be sure to stay until the end of this video, folks, to find out the latest news surrounding the fourth stimulus check. And if you believe that President Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and even some Republicans like Mitch McConnell must do a better job in helping out the American people with stimulus payments, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So far, the president has pledged a major expansion of rental assistance, and the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill is now Biden's opportunity to deliver on his promise of helping us out, of helping Americans out. The program currently provides subsidies to low-income households to help them rent a home on the private market. But millions of U.S. households who qualify for rental aid face long local waiting lists to receive a voucher. But Biden promised to offer it to all eligible families. As president, everybody, President Joe Biden now has the opportunity to make good on that pledge. The Democrats included $327 billion for housing in the reconciliation bill in the works by Congress, including $90 billion to expand rental assistance. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Tell me in the comments below. Now, lawmakers have decided to remove items from the new social spending bill. This is done in order to gain support from Republicans in Congress. And President Biden's plan for a new health agency that will work with the private sector to treat ailments is being dropped from Democrats' sweeping social spending package, therefore jeopardizing whether the initiative can be launched this year. The multi-billion-dollar Advanced Research Project Agency for Health, modeled after, has supported both sides of the aisle. The House this summer designated $3 billion for the program, less than half of what President Biden and advocates have requested. Yet sources on and off Capitol Hill say it will be cut from the Senate's version of the reconciliation bill because it requires authorities outside the scope of the chamber's strict rules. Now, everybody, Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri, a senior Senate Republican appropriator, told news sources that he met with Biden's lead on the project. White House Science and Technology Director also has discussed the path forward. Some research advocates fear the project could be left behind in a crush of end of session. In the end of session business and lose momentum. Yet some believe cutting the program out of the party line reconciliation package could actually improve its prospects. Advocates back an alternative path to representatives and many other congressional leaders would formally establish the agency through an envisioned biomedical research bill known as 21st Century Cures 2.0. Now, if you reside in California, you may be receiving a new stimulus check. California distributed the third round of stimulus checks in the past couple of months. A total of 705,000 payments were issued with an estimated total value of $480 million. The number includes 375,000 paper checks that were sent out in the first batch of mailings, as well as approximately 330,000 payments that were dispersed by direct deposit. So checks can take up to 3 weeks to arrive once mailed, while direct deposits typically show up within a few business days. People can also check California's wait times dashboard, which has more details on refund processing timeframes. Payments by direct deposit are expected to continue through at least October, while checks will be periodically mailed at the beginning of next year. Delays can be expected depending on when someone turned in their 2020 tax return and the date it was processed. Currently, more than 3.3 million Golden State stimulus payments, valuing over $2.3 billion, has been distributed to Californians with earnings up to $75,000. Individuals who have not filed a 2020 tax return have until October 15th to be considered for the latest stimulus payment. Additionally, Californians who apply for an ITIN number will have 4 extra months to file their state income taxes and possibly qualify for the payment.